Why is a V6 engine faster than a V8? They're not faster, they probably feel that way because they have to reverend harder, whereas a large cubic inch V8 engine uses its torque a bit more than the smaller V6 to get considerably more power, because power equals torque times revs divided by 5252. My near 300 kilowatt, 276 kW, 5.7-liter Chevy LS1 has a lot more go than my dad's 152 kilowatt 3.8-liter Buick L36 V6 engine in a similar Holden Commodore. There wouldn't be a great deal of difference between the last of the 180 kilowatt Holden 5-liter V8 engine and the Buick V6 when they changed over to a larger and heavier-bodied Commodore. People noticed the difference in performance between the outgoing 5-liter V8 VS Commodore and the incoming 5-liter VT Commodore in 1997. The latter was said to be more gutless than the previous models due to an extra 300 or so kilograms of added weight. I'm not sure what General Motors have in the pipeline for Holden. It's as if the new ZB Commodore, aka Opel Insignia, is only a stopgap model between 2017 to 2021 because Holden aren't getting supplied with any more of them after 2021, as Opel have split up with General Motors and have joined up with Peugeot Citroën to build their own cars in Germany. There is no V8 option in the new Commodore. There is only the 191 kilowatt 2-liter 4-cylinder model and the 235 kilowatt 3.6-liter V6 model. Why bother? Holden and Ford tried to kill the V8 off in Australia back in 1986 without much luck. By 1989, Holden had a homologate version of the 1969 made, first ever Australian-made, 308 cubic inch V8 engine. A fuel-injected 304 cubic inch, 5-liter, V8 engine which had replaced the imported Nissan RB30 ET, turbocharged, engine which was intended to replace the carbureted version of that engine. Only the value of the yen doubled against the Australia dollar, therefore making the 3-liter Nissan engine too expensive in 1988. A fake Holden still have the factory over here in Australia, albeit it's closed. The last V8 engine that was fitted was the 304 kilowatt 6.2-liter Chevrolet LTI V8 engine. My brother has the supercharged 430 kilowatt version. I'm not sure what GM are doing with their V8 engines. The last I heard, they were meant to build and fit the 32-valve version of the 6.2-liter V8, LT5, last year. I don't know if that happened or not. The next thing is they are looking to build a 400-kilowatt 4.2-liter twin-turbocharged V8 engine under the Cadillac banner. Modern V6s with lower displacements are more powerful than older American V8s with large displacements. Better compression, use of turbos, better timing and balancing, allowing for running at higher RPM. All combine to make modern engines much more potent than older ones. This is not to say a modern 7-liter V8 of standards of today would be slower than the V6. Ellipsis. However, in general, having more displacement by larger cylinders, rather than ones which expand more, is often the way to achieve peak horsepower at higher RPM. But it does not pull as hard. The math and relations are complex though. At the same displacement, an i4, i6, V6, or V8 should produce similar power if constructed similarly. In practice, the smaller chambers are often more efficient at burning the fuel-air charge, especially at higher RPM. Even though they have more friction quite often. But modern i5s are often more potent than some of the anemic large V8 engines from the 1980s. Pulling more power from smaller spaces is a continuing development, as it allows less material for the making of such objects en masse. If you mean a specific car, depends on the car, its power-to-weight ratio, and how much its true displacement is, if a positive displacement device is attached. Well, if you look at the HP and the torque curves of the two vehicles that you are comparing and your assumptions are correct, then you'll likely see that the V6 puts out more HP at the midpoint of its curve and more torque than the V8 at the lower RPMs. This is because the lighter weight of the pistons and crankshaft can spin up faster than heavier V8. Add to this that the lighter weight of the car, assuming the same model and features, and you get a quicker off-the-line car. However, while the V6 will be quicker off the line, the V8 will likely have a faster top end. The other thing, the V8 will have us more pulling power. Have two identical cars with a V6 and V8 loaded with passengers and groceries and see the different pickup speeds. the V6 will pull if the line initially quicker, but the V8 will likely pull ahead before they reach highway speeds, and the V8 will be able to do the heavier pulling mile after mile, while the V6 isn't likely to, as in a towing situation. Even a fairly light trailer that has a large frontal area, high wind resistance, will fail or have to keep to a lower top speed. Depends on which V6 and which V8. It's a bit like asking which is bigger, a sausage or a hamburger. They both come in a variety of sizes. I'm going to answer this based on faster means top speed, and or acceleration to x, 0 to 60 miles per hour, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour or similar. Typically, a V8 is a bigger capacity engine than a V6. The reason you make it an 8-cylinder engine is that each cylinder is smaller, so to keep a reasonable size piston, you add more cylinders. But a 1976 5.7-liter V8, in brand new condition, will easily be beaten by a 2019 3.8-liter V6. Because engine technology has improved in the 45 years. And next we have add-ons such as compressor, blower, and turbos, that can be attached to an engine. A turbo V6 is likely to beat a non-turbo V8, unless there's a much bigger V8 than V6. Mazda did a V6 of 1.8-liter some time ago, which was at the time the smallest V6 available. Even with a turbo, that would not beat a 5.7-liter V8. And of course, faster, assuming we mean the overall speed of the vehicle, is more than simply engine capacity. There are many other factors, the size of the car, etc. But given the same model of car, the V8 is likely to win over a non-turbo V6. I say, likely, because there's still details that can skew this. And of course, some cars are technically capable of quite a high speed, but limited to some arbitrary limit, around 100 miles per hour, 160 kilometers per hour, 160 miles per hour, 255 kilometers per hour, because the manufacturer wouldn't want you going faster than that, or some other reason. In which case top speed is likely the same for all reasonable size engines for that car.